Okay.
I don't know who exactly was recording, but sure. Alright. So first thing first. Okay. So when I'm looking at this, so first thing you
Yes.
need to do is so just create a simple repo. So let's go over it. So go to GitHub,
Yeah.
create new repo. So this is homework one. So just go with one homework. Then public. This is homework for week one of one. Okay, get the README. Alright, so get the repo up on GitHub. Now we can clone it down. Copy that. So I'm using a different thing from what you guys using on Git Bash, but it's basically doing the same thing. So I have my thing in working. Let's make a directory for this. So bootcamp. We go into bootcamp. Let's clone it into here. Right. So while we're waiting for it to clone, let's see what we need to do. Right. So go ahead, readme, put something in it.
Yeah.
Don't really care a lot about it. So okay.
It's very hard, harder than the other one.
This is a very good readme. Right. So got something. Commit that as update readme.
Oh, you can commit it from the VS Code?
Yes, you can. So that thing, that's the source control. That's the Git thing.
Yeah, I saw the changes, but I didn't know I can commit it from there.
Yeah. So if you type something and you save, it's gonna go into here and you're gonna have the changes. And saying you have multiple files, say in here you add another file, say index.html, right? You have something in here. And it have two, and you can choose what you want to do. Say you want to have this, and you say, oh, I update my README. Then you commit this, then you can have here. Sorry, you can select the index, and then you can have another commit. And you can do that. And saying,
that's cool.
In this case, right, I have that thing done. I don't want to change anything on README, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So I have one commit. So if you, so this is a different plugin that install. It's called Git Lens. Like it's Git Lens this one. So it's a Git thing. It's an add-on of Git in VS Code. So I still haven't fully using it because it has so many things. But one of the cool thing is it can show me what is my Git history, I believe. So if I go to here, it will tell me that, okay, so this is the file history. So what happened to this file, who commit on this file and everything. So say something like that. And I can see that what is my commit that I have already done. And what I can do is, so in my case, I'm hitting Control P, which opens something like this.
Yeah.
So this is the shortcut in VS Code as a command. So what you can do is you can do git push from here, and it's exactly the same way of you do git push in your Git Bash, exactly the same. So what I can do is I can type something, I can save, I can commit from here, then I can open this like this shortcut, and I can do git push. And what it does,
I don't need to do the git add and the comment, right?
So the git add is that clicking. That's the git add. The commit thing is this thing. So when you type something, you hit enter. That's the commit, and then you can do push directly from here. The reason why it's asking for my password is because I haven't get my password in, so that's why it's saying like that. But we can ignore that. I don't want to show you my password.
Okay.
Alright, so you can ignore that. So, okay, so now we have an HTML. Alright, so let's go and look what they're asking for. Right, so 3 HTML. Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
create them first. So we can copy paste because this is nothing. So this is portfolio and this is contact. Right, so 3 files. We get all of them up. Initial file. Right. So we create a folder called asset. We create a CSS and we create an image.
Mm-hmm.
So asset. Sorry, inside here. So that is CSS and images. What you can do and what I usually gonna do is I have another plugin called Advanced Open Tool, which allow me to do something like this. So it allow me to, when I hit on my case, it's like if you hit Control P, it's called
Yeah.
this one. So what it allow me to do is I can do, so now you see I have one root, right? Root is a w1 underscore home.
Yeah.
What I can do is I can type in assets
Mm-hmm.
backslash css backslash star.css, and what it's doing is creating me everything. So usually this is how I do it because I don't need really to care to create like single folder after folder after folder. I just do this.
Oh, okay.
It's another plugin for that. I have a bunch of plugins to do. It's this one, advanced new file. So that's what I use to do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, regardless. So we have that. Now let's create another image folder. Drag it out. So we have SS, CSS, starter, CSS, images. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have everything. Now what do we need to do? Right. We need to build 1 page, 2 page, 3 page. All right. So what I let's build this page first. It's gonna be simple. Okay, so let's build the home page, right? So home page, we have a look at this. We see, okay, this is the header. So this
Mm-hmm.
is the whole page. This is the header. This is the section. This is the footer. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do a quick thing of header in here. In header, just like we're gonna have a quick div with my name. So Tringwen. So this thing look like a navigation. So we're gonna have a nav in it.
Mm-hmm.
And in a nav, usually I can, there's multiple ways, but I think in this case I'm just gonna use anchor. So 3 anchor, each of them, let's just go. So 3 anchor, and this is about, this is portfolio, and this is contact. But so that's my navigation. Now my
Mm-hmm.
section. So section. So I have a header. I have a horizontal line breaker. I think
Yeah.
we call it HR. I have a photo. I have a paragraph. So header, me horizontal line, an image. So in this case, just quickly use a placeholder. So https via placeholder.com. So this is roughly 150 by 80 something. Placeholder. So this is not really important, but this is what I usually like to do. So
Mm-hmm.
even without this, it's gonna work. But because like image or HR, this is a horizontal ruler. So they are
Yeah.
by themselves. What they mean is they are a self-closing tag. So
Mm-hmm.
what it means is that they don't actually have a closing tag like this. So
Yeah.
what I want to do is I usually do a self-closing, meaning I put this at the very end. Like browser will look through it. It doesn't change anything, but it's a good thing to have.
Okay.
So I have that. Now I have a paragraph, right? I have a paragraph with some lorem ipsum. So that gets some code output.
Actually, you can do it from that code, you know.
Lorem.
No, P less than P, no, greater than, sorry, the other way around. P greater than lower.
like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found it the other day.
Yeah. But
It's
this thing,
the
the reason is because this thing is nowhere close to that. That is way longer.
yeah.
So this is like 3 paragraph. So I go and I do 3 paragraph and I just get the code. But that's a cool trick. But we get that and
But the one you have to copy and then you have to close it, right?
yeah.
That way.
So like anyway work like if you like because the lorem is quite short,
Mm-hmm.
like it's only that. So
Yeah.
if you have to do it like it's very very shorter. So if you do it, you have to do it multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have that. Now the end I have a navigate footer, right? So
That one is very hard.
this bottom thing.
Yes. To
Uh,
make it stay there.
okay, so a copyright, and if you look closely, they have a C thing. So it's an icon.
Mm-hmm.
So the way to do it in my thinking is that I'm looking for copyright icon HTML code. So what it's gonna give is gonna give something like this. So this is the symbol code of HTML, and you should
Yeah,
use
the
this
copy
instead
symbol.
of using this. So got that in. Right now, let's have a look at. I don't have the other one. Let's open that. Yes, Chrome, please. All right, cool. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. Right. Now it's time to do the styling. All right. So this is usually how I like it to do. I just quickly do it on developer tool first before I actually put it in. So let's close that and have a look at this. All right. So top bar, we have that holy top. We have this thing on the left, this thing on the right. So my thinking was I'm gonna have my whole header to be actually let's do the floating, let's do this thing go alpha. So this is my name. So I'm gonna have background color to be what color did I say? So 5. Okay, so I have that. Then the color needs to be white. The font size needs to be same 20 pixel, a bit more, so 30. Font weight looks to be bold, so we're gonna have it bold. And because it's like it's string, it didn't go to the whole line, so I know that this is not a block thing because a block wants to be the whole line. So what I can do is I can do display inline, which make it string to the content size, and then there's some spacing around, so that's padding. So saying we have padding 10 pixel, and that's what we have right there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's quite simple. Copy that, and now we go back to our code. All right, so this is my name. Let's have an ID in this of name. So CSS name. All right, now we need to link them. Okay, so link. So asset CSS style. So link them. This is home. Right. No, this is about me. About. Right. So we got this. We got everything. Now let's go back and refresh it. All right. Got it. Now next thing is we need to move this on that. So one way that people used to do is they do float. So what you can do is you can do float right, which give it like that. But what I want to do is see how in this one Can I zoom? Yeah. All right. See on this one, if you look at the vertical line, you will see that it's actually in the middle.
Yep.
So float doesn't really help in doing that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this to become absolute, and I make sure that I'm vertical align them. So
Mm-hmm.
what I can do is the header, I'm gonna have position to be relative.
Yep.
So that cover everything. My nav insert float right. I can have it to position absolute. I can do right 0 and top 0. Right. So now I have that. Right. Now what you can see here is that, so this is my header, and top 0 actually got it right? So it's actually correct, but it's not in the middle of the header.
Mm-hmm.
So one trick that you can do is if you Google something called vertical align, this is a thing that I Google for a long time and I'm still using it. So this if you say if you search for vertical align. Oh wait, no, the website's going down. Oh yeah, they're not down yet. All right. So vertical align anything with 3 layers CSS. So this is a very cool thing. So what you can do is you can do this. Actually, you have to do this instead because it needs to relative to itself. So if you do it here, it will fail. Okay. And if you actually no, you can do that. But so what I did is this. So this is my header, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if in here I say top to be 50%, what it's actually doing is that you can see that now my, actually let's get a background so it's easier to see. Row 2. Right. And this is my parent, so background color to be background to be okay. Alright. So what you can see now is that my nav, when I say top
Mm-hmm.
50%, what it's actually doing is you see how that top is 50% of the whole width. So that's
Oh,
what
okay.
top 50% does. So the position is correct. That is where we want it to be. But we don't want our top to be at that 50%. We want our middle point to be at that
Mm-hmm.
50%. So therefore the transform. So what transform does is it moves itself, in this case saying translate y to be minus 50%, meaning it moves itself on the y-axis to be minus 50% of the height of itself. So if you increase or decrease this, you will see that it moves itself along the y-axis line.
Oh, okay.
So in this case, so what I'm doing is I'm moving my top to be 50% of what the parent is, and
Mm-hmm.
then I move half of myself up. So by doing that, I make sure that my middle point of this navigation is at
Mm-hmm.
the very middle point of the whole parent, which now
Oh,
make
okay.
it on like absolutely vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got that. I need to remove that thing here. Alright. So let's copy this in. So my header is that. Alright, so pretty sure that we only have one header, so I don't think I need that. So one of the things that I love to do is I try to organize my code based on where they appear on the page. So like in this case, because my header is on the very top, so I want to
Yeah.
put it before the name thing. So therefore, when I look back, I can kind of guess where it is. So in this case, I have
Oh,
my name to
okay.
be position reserve, right? I have my header nav. So header nav to have all that. So I have that. Now let's see how it look like. Okay, right at the middle. So that's good. Right. Now what next? Right, so we have that, we have that. Now we have it to be Y and kind of a border at the bottom. So let's make that. So this thing, right? So this is our header. If we add, so this is the header. If we add the border, interesting. So this is my name. If I have, okay. So this doesn't work with inline. Inline block work. Okay. So I need to change this to inline block because if I, as you see, if I do inline, the parent doesn't know about my height. So you see the border doesn't cover it. So I need to use inline block. So again, CSS is more of a trial and error. You do something like you understand a bit, but then you do something it doesn't work like the way you do it. So you have to keep changing and think outside the box to do different things to give you the results.
Okay.
So I got that. Now there's a small border at the bottom, so we can do that. So what we can do is border bottom solid thin black. Right, so solid thin black. We can change the color a bit. Do they have a color for? Okay, so that's the color. Right, so that's the color. So we have the border. Okay, cool. Let's get that in. So header border. Cool. So we got that in. Wait, sorry, I haven't changed the inline block. Right, got that. Now let's go to the content. Right, so the content we have that color again. So about me, color to be 4A5. So I have that. There's our horizontal line. So the horizontal line seems to have the same color with the main background. So we're gonna color it. So I think this use color. How do they color the same background color? Actually, I'm not sure. Okay, so we need to change the color of this into the color of whatever that color is. So let's have a look. HR HTML color. Right. So look into here. Search for the word color. They don't actually have a way of doing that. Right. So they don't have anything like that. So what we can do, what I would do is that I would just make that. So the way that I can make it is index. So instead of an HR right here, what I can do is I can make a div. I can make my HR class. That's fine. So in HR, let's see what it looks like first. So so this is our HR. We can have a height of 1 pixel.
Yeah.
So we have it right there. Then we have a color of a background color. That. It looked like it. Okay, so increase the height to be 2. And we have some padding, sorry, margin back and top and bottom. So you can do that. So margin, say 20 pixel and 0. So we have that. Cool. Now let's get that. So we have an HR. right here. But that's how we create our own thing. Now about this, let's get it back. So this is a section title. So we can have so section title order to be so we got that. We got the image. Now the image is on the right side and we have everything on the left side. So let's float them. So we float the whole paragraph. Sorry, we float the image so that the whole paragraph follow up. So float left. And when we float left, everything follow along. And because we have some spacing here and spacing there, so what we can do is we can have the image to have margin right to be saying 20 pixel and some margin bottom to be 20 pixel. So have some space around that. Actually, let's redo this a little bit. Right, saying that. So this is our image, right? So image. So let's after this. Okay, so we have all of that. That's good. Now we need a border around it. So that is our section. Our section now have a background color of white. And we kind of have a border around. Actually, yeah, sure, let's do a quick border. So solid 10 black. That's it. All right. And we have a padding everywhere. So padding 20 pixel. Look like it? Yeah, I'm gonna say so. So we have a section in here, right? Maybe section. So section. All right, cool, got it. Now let's do the, which one do we want to do first? Blah, blah, blah. Let's do this background first because it seems to be something huge. So what they said we can do is we can go to, there's a website. There you go.
There's a website.
So subtotal of that. Just get this. How do I download it? Free? Oh, cool. Okay. So crisscross. All right. So let's get that in our asset. All right. So this is the image. Right. So what we can do is because the image is on this, and I do believe that we don't have anything for this. So let's create a bigger section box to cover outside of this. So
do we need to? I just applied it to the body.
Yeah, so it depends on how you do it. Usually I don't want to touch the body at all if I can, but it really depends on how you want to do it.
I see.
Okay, so copy that, paste it in here. All right, so now we have another thing outside of it so that we can use it. So we can have a background image to URL. So this URL is slash so we go back folder, we go to image, we go to background. I think that BNG. And that's not BNG. Actually BNG. It does said that it. Oh, images. I've spelled it wrong. Images. Okay. So now we have it. So the problem is now whatever we're having is actually being hidden by this container. So what we can do is,
Mm-hmm.
because we have a margin around here, or I think they have a dimension of this being 960.
Yeah,
So for,
960.
yeah, so for now I'm not just gonna follow that because
Mm-hmm.
my screen is way smaller. So we have a section, we say, sorry, the section container, we have a margin left and right. So this is auto, I don't care about this. And left and right, I say 20%. But have that. And wait, it still doesn't found it.
No, you're applying to the container, right? Not the
Yes.
session.
No, but it actually, so images background. Why am I there? No, I think it's something wrong with the CSS. So let's just copy this into our CSS first. So section outside this section container. Okay. So now does it load? So if I look at the network, I can see that it's loading it. But I
I
couldn't.
think you apply the margin at the same size.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, wait.
You apply the
Yeah.
CSS
Yeah.
margin.
So this should be padding, right? Padding.
No, you don't you have to apply it in the session ID session.
Yeah. Sorry, what you talking about? This should be. So if I have 0 here, there you go. So the reason what wasn't happening before is because I use margin, and because
Mm-hmm.
I use margin, you see the orange thing. So basically, I shrink my container down to the equal size of the section. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
like the background is still underneath the section. So what I should do is should use the padding so that now my section container is bigger and my section
Yeah.
is smaller. So therefore the background show up.
Okay.
All right, so I got that. Now let's add some top and bottom. So let's add it up a bit. Let's say we go with this one now. So we got that, and that's in container. Right, right. Now we got that working. Cool. Now let's do the footer.
Mm-hmm.
So the footer is what? The footer is this thing.
Sticky footer.
Yes. All right. So let's do thing that is not sticky first. So
Okay.
footer. Let's do background color. They have a color too, right? That's so
Yeah. There is some instruction.
okay. And color to be white. And they said they want it to be in the middle, so font align. Sorry, text align to be mid center. Some margin, some padding on the top. So padding on top to be say 50 pixels. Now we have something like that. Maybe that's a bit too much. 40? Yeah, sure. And they said they want they do say something about the footer have a border top. Yeah, there you go. So we have that in it. Okay. So now let's just okay with this for a bit, and then we're gonna start seeing problem there. Okay, so we have footer. That's how you work. You agree with something for one thing, and then you go to another page and you see everything breaks. That's how web developer work. All right.
Okay.
So we have footer. Cool. So now the problem is they always want it to be at the bottom.
Yes.
So we can do it quite easy by just deleting this. And by deleting the main content of us, now suddenly we see that thing is on top.
Yeah.
So one way that we can do is, and usually this is the way that I would do, is that I would make this to be position absolute. Actually, do they want it to be when you? They said they always want it to be at the bottom, right?
Yeah, sticky. These are sticky folder. So
So you will notice that just rest below the content. That's fine. Push it down to hide the most smart. But if there's no content, so it always at the bottom. Oh, so wait. So if it's always the bottom, does it mean that you can just do position fix and bottom 0, left 0,
but if it
right
is
0?
a lot of things, right, then it will cover the top part
So
because it's always sitting there.
so if you have this, right, then saying you have a footer, you have this. So you're saying it covered that bit. But so one trick that you can do is that, so now you know there's a footer, right?
Yeah.
And you know that the footer is over the end. So one thing that you can do is you can just create another section saying this is a container. This is whatever we have learned during the whole bootstrap that we're using in this. It's just a name, not really the meaning. And you can have all of that, right? And what you can do is you can say, okay, so now you know that my footer is only 66 pixel height. What you can do is your container, you have a margin bottom of 66 pixel. So it allowed that to work. So what happening is now I create an extra space of 66 pixel for the footer to have more space to go out. So now instead, if I don't have it, it will stuck here and you will not see the rest of it.
Yeah.
I create more space so it allows to scroll a bit down.
Okay.
So that's one way.
But it's always staying there, right?
Yeah,
So
it's always staying there. So I think it's depending on how you understand it. Let's see how they what is a sticky footer they talk about. So sticky footer is okay. So this is a fixed footer. This is a sticky footer, right? So we're not doing this fixing. We want it to be always at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So always at the bottom. Then we do something else. Right. Remove all that. Okay. So now we have this, which is at the bottom. That's fine. But then if we don't have this, then go up. So one way that we can do is that, so this is a section container. If you don't have this, it's gonna be like that. What you can do in this case is that because you know how high this header is and how high this footer is, what you can do in this section container is that you can say something like mean height and you do a cal. Let me just demonstrate what does it do and then I'll explain to you what it is. So 105 mean height. Mean height doesn't like calculation. Does 0 mean height 100% of the body? Oh, because the body doesn't have it. Okay. So in this case, what I can do is I'm gonna do that first. So footer is 66, header is 55. So 121. So I have 121 in here. And I have my body, mean height, to be 100 view height. So it make it like that. And the header and this. Why is this still doing that? Let's be set. I still don't have my height. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so ignore that part. So what else can you do in this case? How did you do it, Cynthia?
I did it with the flash container, but it doesn't work for Bootstrap for me. That's why.
Alright, so let me think.
I did it with the display flags and then put it there.
Wow. That's a bit cheating.
Yeah.
I have that, I have this, I have section. Now my section height, is that because I don't have any content? That's the first thing. Right, so a couple of things I need to do first. First of all, I don't want my body to have any margin. And I have my height to be, my mean height to be always 100 view height. So this is whatever device you're on, your body needs to be always 100% of the view height, which means from here to the bottom. If it's longer, then it can expand whatever it wants. But if it's shorter, it needs to be in it. Okay, so in this case, that's fine. Now the problem that we're having is inside. So let's remove that. So we have that. So what we can do is this should work. But it doesn't work. Why? So block. 700%. That's the body. So that this work. But how do I want to do this?
It's very hard.
Yeah. Like I know how to do it, but let me think how to. What's the easiest way to do it with this one? Because I'm pretty sure. So this is doing correctly what I asked it to do. If I say this one work. Right, so these are ways to do. So what's this? 55. This is 66. This is still 180. So this is 55. 680. Okay, 181. What does 181 mean? 181 is 66. This one is 66. But so it's a bit hard to say. All right, so first of all, what I did is, so I don't think I need this anymore, but let's keep it like that. All right, so calculation. So this is a method in CSS allow you to do a calculation inside of CSS, and you can do it cross unit, meaning in here, what I'm doing is I'm using 100% view viewport height, meaning this. So if you delete this bit, what you will see is that the whole of this will be equal to the viewport height.
Oh, okay.
I still have trouble understanding what 181 means, but for now I'm just gonna do trial and error, and I'm just gonna go with a number until it exactly match that and doesn't create any scroll bar. So I'm just gonna go with that number for now. So what you will see now is that if I put this into my session container, what's happening is it's gonna go like that because I'm using height. It should be mean height. Mean height. Yes, that should be mean height, not height. But so it should go like that. And if in this case we have let text saying on this text, it still keep it that way. So that's how it works.
Okay.
So again, what I did is that I say, so my mean height will always be this, like this height. This 100 VOH minus 181. So it's always be this height. If my content is longer, in this case, because of the text, my section container is longer, it is feel free to expand to fit the content. But if the content is shorter, and in this case, something like this, the height will never shrink below 100 and like 100 VOH minus 181. It will always be like that. So that's one way to do that. All right. So that's that. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So because we have it going down here, so let's do it the same thing on here. So in here we have padding of 20%. So let's do a padding on the header of 20% too. So padding 20%. Actually do, if we do that, then because you see if it's a padding, then the size of the header is still the full size. That's why this is still right there. So what we need to do is we need to change the navigation in it. So our right now is 0. We want our right to be 20%. So it pushes out into here to match that. So let's do that. So header, so padding to be 0, 20%. And this one to be 20%. So it matching something like that. Right. I'm just gonna ignore about this right now because I don't think we need that. But before we move on to another page, let's talk about how we keep, like, let's look about in our CSS and see how we keep repeating the number, the color code. Like you see how that repeat again, and then we have to repeat this a couple of times, like 1 to 3 times. And it's quite like common in the real life experience when you build a website, you know you have a couple of colors, like saying in my company when we build a website we have like 5 or 6 colors, and we keep to reusing it over and over again in the whole website. And the problem is if you keep copy and pasting, and then one day someone come in and say, yes, I want to change this color in something else, it's gonna take time to actually updating everything and make sure nothing changed, not everything changed. So it takes time. So CSS have something called CSS variable, and you can have a look at that on Google. It's quite useful, and you can have a look at that. But I'm just going to demonstrate how it works. So in this case, we see that there's a teal color of that. So let's gonna, what we do is we're gonna use another name to represent that value. So in this case, what you do is with CSS variable is this is a convention thing. It's not a must thing, but usually in CSS people start something like that with a double hyphen. to say that this doesn't mean anything. This is just a variable, a name to represent something else. So in this case, we have color till to be this, right? So
Yep.
so that we declare this. If we save this and we refresh, we should see nothing different. Does nothing change at all. But what this allows us to do is that we can copy this, and wherever we use this, we can call a function called var and put the name in. So that what it's actually doing is to say, oh, you're looking for this variable. I'm looking to all your parent. I'm looking to see like what's the value means. And I'm going to copy it and paste it over. Remember that when you use it, the value of it needs to be in the parent. So that's why usually we put it in the body, because it's the parent of everything. So whatever variable I used to put, I put it directly in the body itself.
Okay.
So we can copy this. We can change it in here, right? And we can change it in here. All right. And now if you go back, you should see that nothing changed, right? Exactly what we want. Nothing changed. A cool thing about that is that if you go and look at this, you see how now it said var color till, and if you hover on it, you see the actual number and the actual value of it.
Oh, okay.
Right? And because it's referring to something else, it's referring to a variable that you set inside the body. Inside the body, now you can see that. And what you can do with it is you can change it, and everything referred to this value will also change. Let me show you. So see this color, and that color. Now, if I change this into red, sorry, not red, but something similar. See how that changed, and that also changed. So that's the power of CSS variable. You change everything. You change if you have a CSS variable and you refer it somewhere else. If you change it, everything else will change alongside with it. So in the big project, if someone come in and say, hey, I want to change this color till from this color to that color, you can just change right here, and everywhere in your website it will change.
That's nice.
Yeah, I know. When you use it on big company, you shall see that it's so cool, and because people change so many times. All right. So this is so simple and similar, so I will not bother even redo this.
No,
Let's go with portfolio.
Yes.
So this is where I would recommend you to think about whether, actually let's do the HTML first, because that's how we do, right? We do the HTML. Before we do that, we should need to commit this, because at this point we complete our HTML page. And we say yes, complete about me page. You got that done, so that now if we accidentally break everything, we can revert our project back to that point. So that's a cool thing to have. So now let's copy everything here and paste in portfolio. Right, now let's also link it in access. But if you go to portfolio, but so this is the moment that I want you to think about how you should style your CSS, because like as you can see, a lot of them are share. So like this is share, things in the middle also share. Even that title is share, only this content doesn't. So think about how you would like organize your CSS. And if I'm doing this, what I'm going to do is, normally I would have a style of CSS. This is my main style, and this is a share thing along all of the pages. And then I would have another one. So in this case, I would have the section image, only the section image to be inside separate page, because this is only for the about me. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna move it out to another file called about me.css. I'm gonna throw it in there. Just sit alone, because this is the only file. This is the only CSS that is special in this whole page. Everything else is share. So if I'm doing this, I need to go back to my about me. I need to clone this and link them to about me. Right? So now I know that if I change something in style, which is the share one, every single page of me will maintain that share, which means that if I break one thing, I break everything. But in the meantime, if I change one thing, everything will change alongside with it. So that's a good thing. That's what I want. So we got that in index. So we commit this. We commit the CSS. And we say split main CSS into 2 files. Right. So now let's go to portfolio. This portfolio page, right? Yeah. Okay. So we don't need. So we still need all of this, but the about me now become portfolio. We have the HR. We don't have this. Right. Did I do something wrong? Oh wait, wrong file. Okay. So portfolio. So portfolio. This is my portfolio, and see now without content, it's still fine. So the footer is still right there. So that's good. That's what we want. Now what's this in portfolio? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picture and some name on it. All right. So just by the look of it, I know that this needs to use position absolute. And to be honest, position absolute and relative use a lot, even now. We don't actually have a lot of technology to replace them, and they still one big thing in CSS right now. Float is not, but this position absolute thing is still a thing. So what we can do is, so let's create it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 block of image, and I have a name, and I have a picture. So I don't want to do it. So section, how to call this project? So in the project, I have an image, and I have a div, but image text, image description, and I need 5 of this. Right. So for the image, let's still use our placeholder, and this is picture. Okay. Now for the description, we have project 1.
How can you select multiple things?
It's so I use a key map from Atom. I think by default it's use a different thing. So let me find. So in my case, I use Control D because it's a key map. Jason, open setting, shortcut, keyboard shortcut, Control plus D. No. Keyboard. So So it's add selection to next file match. So if you do Control P, you open this. Remember that there's this symbol before.
Yeah.
I think you have to put it in by default because I use different key mapping and they do it for me. And if you look for add selection to next file match and have a look at whatever that thing is, and you can use that.
Okay.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 dots, so that's fine. We have one project. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. All right. Now let's have a look at how that look. Picture. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Let's increase this a bit to 100. All right. So first of all, let's do the text on top of it. So this is our thing. And so in order to do this, we use position relative and absolute. So the parent, the project class needs to be relative. Text will be position absolute. So now we can see that it's kind of broken.
Go to the next
Say
one.
bottom 0 and left 0 and right 0. So by doing left 0 and right 0, I make sure that I have, why am I that size? That should be not that size. Why am I there? And why do I have a color, background color? Interesting. Why do I have a background color? Oh wait, no, I don't have a background color. Okay. So I have that. It's an absolute. So this is position relative. But this doesn't relative to that. It's relative to this. Interesting. Okay. Seems to be so somewhere around that. And so this is the image. Oh, because this thing covered the whole line. So it's actually doing the correct thing. Okay. So first of all, we need to see that this project is actually covering the whole line and not just the image that we want. So this is the thing. Because of it, if in this text we put a background color saying background color to be red, see that it covered the whole line. And the reason because I use left and right to be 0. Left and right 0 meaning that I want whatever my element is, I want it to have 100% without a parent. You can do the same thing with top and bottom. So if you do top 0 and bottom 0, you make sure that whatever your parent is, your child will have the full width of the parent. And
okay.
That's a full width. More than a full width. All right. So that. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to make sure that it doesn't, like the parent, this project doesn't go all the way there. So we do the trick that we did before. So display inline block. Just block it right there. And go right there. Okay. So now we have everything. We need the border, the background color, right? And because we using variable, what we can do is we can say bar and color till, and then we have it. So we don't have to remember the code anymore. We can do padding. In this case, I say padding 10 pixel, 0, because we don't really care about the left and the right. We want it to be a line in the middle, so text line middle, center, so center. We want the color to be white, so color white. And there we have it. That's it. So what we need to do.
So easy.
So what we need to do is now we need to get this into all of them. So because we already have the class, we can do that. So, and because we know that we are using a different CSS, like this is about me and we're gonna use a different CSS, and this CSS is specialized only for this page. We are not worried that it's gonna break our about page. So let's create another portfolio CSS, and we're targeting project now. So portfolio project like that, and the image So this is image description. And now let's clear a lot. And in this one, we'll have link to assets, CSS, portfolio. Okay, so this is a portfolio page. Portfolio page. Right now, so see how it suddenly become one line, even though I haven't done anything. So the reason being is that if before, if you don't have this, ignore the text description. But what the reason why it's actually going on the new line is that if you hover on each of the section, you see that it's actually taking the whole width.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have this in, you suddenly see that it doesn't take in the whole width, it's just taking whatever the size of each of the images. And because it's doing this, by default, it has the ability to have multiple things on the same line, therefore the inline meaning of it. So display inline block, meaning I am okay with being an inline, but I need to have access to my width, my dimension. If you have so let me explain a bit. So the difference between inline and inline block is this. So if you do inline block and you say width, you can say 200 pixel. Actually 200 is that 300 pixel. And now it suddenly become 300 pixel width, which is fine.
Yep.
But if you do inline alone, what's happening is you don't have control on the dimension of the element anymore. That sometimes you will need it, but sometimes you don't. In this case, I don't need that. I need to control my element. I need to control how big it is. Therefore, inline block. And like, let's go back to the point where the reason why I use inline block is for something different. But in this case, it worked because I string the size of each of the block down, and because the parent had more space to it, it allowed the multiple inline block that can occupy the enough space to go up. If I had more, in this case, because you see it cannot fit another one, what's happening is it will go down. That's it. So no floating whatsoever, and it's still going to work. And what you can do is you can have some margin to be 10 pixels. Would margin be the wise thing to do? Oh, sorry, not this margin, the project margin. Margin 10 pixels. Yeah, you can have something like that. Okay, so project. So that's what happened. The reason why this thing is not a very best approach is that you can easily see how this line start from here, but this block start from here. See how it missed a line? It's because the first block, the first section, it has the margin, and because of it blocks itself. So it pushes itself in to make it not aligned to it. So if you're working for your own project and you don't really care about this because it's small, it's fine. But for the big company, they do care about the misaligned. So therefore, this is not a very best approach, and the flex block become way better. All right, so we got that in. So that is the portfolio page. Portfolio. That. All right. I think, can I push this to the GitHub? All right, so I got that done. Now let's do git push. I will GitHub. So that's my username, and I'm gonna move this away to do my password because there's no way I'm gonna give you that. Actually, I don't need to care because it's filtered anyway. All right, so got that done. Now see that going up. All right, cool. Now let's go to the repo and see how that is. All right, W1 homework. Cool. Everything is up here. Setting. As a branch. And I should have that. And usually someone told me that this require like 5 or 10 minutes something to make it work.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for it, let's do a bit about this. Right. So now we just have a parent portfolio. So let's make a jump between them. So index. So because we don't want to, when we're on portfolio, we don't want this to jump again. So we leave it as this. So this means that don't do anything, don't go anywhere. So if you have a look, so this is the portfolio, right? And then the link is of this is saying that I will go to this page, right? And what it actually does, it do that. And it actually has a meaning. So if you go to, let's see, HTML tag, W3 school. So what it's actually trying to do is it's trying to jump to an anchor tag inside a page. Can I do this in here? I don't think they have it, but I think I can do something quite good. I don't really know how to do it.
Oh, I think I saw it before.
Yeah, it's quite awesome. In a page anchor tag, I think. Oh yeah, create an anchor to the page itself. So you can do something like that, and you can do a hashtag like that, and we jump. Do they have it? Oh yeah, it's called bookmark. All right, so let's try it. So this is all the page, and so this is a link, and if you can see that it's hashtag C4. And if you look a bit down, you have a C4 as an ID here. So what it does is it jumps to that. So that is a anchor thing. And by saying this alone, what we're saying is I want you to jump, but I don't want you to jump anywhere because I don't give you an ID to jump to. So that's why it stick to that. And if you, where is it? If you move this a bit down here, you will see what it actually happening is it would jump to the top. So if you go here, right, you click that, it will jump to the top because it say I will jump, but because I don't know where I should jump, I jump to the top of the page. So if you have something, it will jump down, and if you don't have anything, it will jump up.
I see.
So that's the reason why if you don't have anything, it will not go anywhere because it's try to, but it doesn't know where to go. Therefore, it stay. So let's have this to go to about HTML. No, this is index.html. And the portfolio. Wait, wrong one. This is portfolio page, so portfolio.html. And this goes to index.html. Right, so now we can jump between them. All right, but what I want to do is I'm saying, okay, now how do I know which page I'm on? It look confusing me. Like I see this, but I might be missing that. So I want you to do is I want to make the navigation link a bit more like a bit more lookable and like understandable which link that I'm really on. So saying now I'm on portfolio and I want this alone to have something stupid like a background color of whatever the color that we currently have. So color 2. I want to have some padding around it, say padding 10 pixel. I want some border radius. So border radius is to make the border around it a bit rounded. And just this color to be white. I want that. All right. So that's what I want. That's how I know that I'm on the correct, that's the link that I'm on. So what we
I
can do
see.
is we can introduce a class to the share. So right now the link is in navigation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing this wrong, so that needs to be there, and that needs to be there. Okay. So in navigation, so what we can do is header nav active. So what this means is that if my navigation have the active class, append all of this. And if we go back, we see that nothing changed because none of our navigation actually have an active class. What we can do is we can go to each of the page and we say, okay, this is portfolio page, and you add a class here. And same with here, you add an active class active into here. And what it does is it does nothing. Oh wait, sorry, because it's I apply on the anchor tag, not the navigation tag. So I go nav, I go A. Right, so I saw that. If I go to about saw that. See, so now it make it a bit clearer of which link I'm on. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's the most thing I would do with the assignment. Cool. All right. So now, question: do you have anything you want to ask?
Not at this moment. I need to digest a bit. Can I get this source code from your gift?
Sure. I'm making it public, so I think you can copy. But so we push it up, and let's see how that works. But we push it up, and let's go to GitHub. Right, so we update it. It's fine, and everything looks fine to have. Let's go to the link. It should work by now. There we go. So the page, we have everything look okay. And we go to portfolio, that thing changed, and we have everything. All right, cool. All right, so no question, right? So I can post this on the Slack channel, and you can go and have a look at that.
Yes, please.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I think that's all I want to show. I think we'll do
It's a lot. Probably I'll ask you more tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Probably gonna do the same thing with the assignment homework 2. Homework 2 is more or less the bootstrap, right? Nothing else but bootstrap, right?
It is to recreate those 3 files for the bootstrap with the bootstrap.
So use that, but do the bootstrap.
Yeah.
That'd be faster. All right, cool. So I guess that's it. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, good night.